So I recently made a purchase at the local gun store, and slightly overpaid for it, which in a way I'm kind of glad that I did. Most of the time this gun goes from anywhere from 120-ish to 150-ish, which by this point you should probably already know what I'm talking about. It's a Mosin Nagant m9130, which I've got right over here behind me. But I am in no way upset that I ended up spending that much on this rifle, because I actually got a couple of really neat things, because I was actually able to go into the store, physically pick out the one that I wanted, compared to, say, going online to Bud's Gun Shop, Classic Guns, anywhere like that. Because what's cool about this one is a Tula manufactured hex receiver, and it was actually made in 1932. It was imported in by PW Arms, based out of Redmond, Washington. And the gun itself, when I first got it, was in pretty good shape. I've done a little bit of work to the gun since I've got it. As you can tell by looking, this is not the way this wood originally looked. What I did is, when I first got it, it was all beat up, cosmoline covered, sticky, icky, gross. So what I did was I sanded it down. First with a heavier grit to break through it pretty fast. I went with a 100 grit sandpaper at first, and then I did a real fine sanding with some 220, and then stained it with a what is known as special walnut. Let that dry, did another coat of special walnut, and then went back, polyurethaned everything, and refinished the stock on it. Got the stock looking extremely nice, as you can see here. A bolt is actually extremely smooth, to the point where I can one-handedly operate it. And the way I got it this smooth was I took it out and I polished all of these contact points right here. Polished all of that, and then I just put a couple drops of lube here, here, as well as here, and then I worked with the slide, cocking it, decocking it, everything like that for about an hour one night, and just worked it, cleaned this area right in through here extremely well. Because when you first get these things, they're caked with cosmoline, and it's a little bit hard to clean this area right here out. What I actually did on that was I had a universal gun cleaning kit laying around, and I have multiple shotguns, all of which are 12 gauges, and inside of that cleaning kit there was one for a 20 gauge, and I knew I was never going to use it, so I put a little bit of a Hope's number 9 gun cleaning oil on there, and I put it on my brush, attached the brush to a drill at a low speed. I put the drill in there, drilled it while it was cleaning it out, cleaned it up real nice that way. Took a barrel bore cleaner, took some bore cleaner, put it on a brush, cleaned the barrel of this thing out really well, got it cleaned up really good. Got everything decosmoline, let it sit out in the sun when I first got it, before I even did the restoration on it. I've fired about 40 rounds through this thing since I've got it, which I know isn't really enough to actually test a whole lot. First 20 rounds was surplus ammo, and it done very well. Second 20 rounds was a box of Tula ammo that I had picked up at my local pawn shop, which don't do that, people. That surplus ammo was costing me $7 per bundle of 20. The 20 rounds of the Tula ammo was $18.02 after tax. And from what I found from those 20 rounds is the surplus ammo fired much better out of this gun than the Tula. The Tula had a little bit problems loading in the next round every little bit, whereas with the Surplus, had no problem working the slide on it. People always talk about how the ammo is corrosive. They actually make some Hoax Elite gun oil with corrosive protection. I'd still yet recommend taking and just cleaning your barrel and your bolt right here. Just pop the bolt out. It takes literally 2 seconds to clean it, so just pop that out. And you don't even have to clean the whole action of it. Just this first part right here, just pop this off. Just wipe down your firing pin and your ejector head right here. Clean your springs right here, and just do your barrel. That's all you really have to clean with it. If you want, you can do the top right here of your mag spring. Just drop out the bottom, wipe that off a couple times. But I mean, it's not that hard to clean it. Just get gun cleaner that's actually labeled to work for corrosive ammo, and just clean it up. And then another thing I did was I outlined all of the original markings, as well as the elevation stamps with its red acrylic paint. That way it stands out more, easier to see it. All I did was take a paint pen, pushed it down on there, let it get down into the crevices, and then wiped off with a polishing cloth. And what that did was it removed all of the excess that was on top of it. And then I'm going to keep this gun stock in its current form, the way it is right now. And I'm going to buy later on a probably an M44 that I'm going to sporterize a little bit. I'm actually going to leave this one as is. I'm going to order an original sling for it from Amazon because I did not get that, unfortunately. I did, however, get a bayonet, which does not fit the rifle correctly. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the bayonet, take a Dremel tool, and just Dremel out the inside of it a little bit. That way I can slip it on to it, because it does not fit. And then I'm going to order the original ammo pouch off Amazon and a couple of stripper clips. And I'm just going to keep this rifle as is. I'm actually going to do some deer hunting with this winter. I've got my father-in-law's got a farm out there. He's got 1,000 acres, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of hunting with it, depending on how that goes. I might pick up an M44, sporterize it, try on one of those like the probably the brass stacker or the UTG tri-rail on an M44 later on, depending on how this thing does, and see if there's really any need to do the upgrade on it. Because the way this gun is now, I'm shooting at about 1,000 yards with it. Not 1,000 yards, sorry. About 100 yards with it. And we went out there today and we shot at a 5x7 printout of a zombie and 3 spray paint cans from 100 yards, which that's a long distance, 100 yards to a target that's 6 or so inches tall with the spray paint cans, and 5x7 on the zombie target. And this is going to sound really bad, but we was only able to, from that distance with that size target, we hit 4 shots out of 20 that was on target. The rest veered off to the side just a bit, or we was high. That's one thing I will say about these Mosins, is even with your elevation all the way down back here, a lot of times they will hit high, and there's not a lot of bullet drop at that distance. So I mean, you can be aiming down on it, and you'll still, a lot of times, hit about an inch or 2 high, which we're going to go back out there in the field later on, probably tomorrow or the next day, and we're going to take some paper targets out there and see just how far off center we are from our point of aim, and we're going to see what the actual point of impact is, and then compare. If it's too bad, then instead of getting the M44 for later on, I'm just going to go with like a Remington 770 or something of that matter. Maybe even a Ruger American Savage Axis, something like that. But as a collector's gun, $179 is what I ended up paying for this one. You can't go wrong with it. Because you gotta think. This one here that I've got survived through World War II. And it's still in very, very impressive shape. I mean, when you've got a gun that's 82 years old and it's this smooth, you've got a good, very good crown on the top of the barrel there, and all of the original parts intact. I actually have matching serial numbers on everything. Matching serial here, 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 and on the butt plate, matching serial. However, those are not the original screws that came on the gun. You can tell that that's not the original screw, but it is the original butt plate, which makes me wonder if the original screw had got stripped out or something, or what, because that's not the original screw. However, still holds it in there just fine, so I'm not really worried about that. I was able to keep all of the original cartouches on this gun, even though I did the sanding on the stock.